All right, welcome back to Finding Truth podcast here on Unscripted Truth TV on YouTube. Logan here with Austin, and this week we got a good one. Our 50th episode, uh, quite a milestone. Just ticking down to our big year on YouTube here, which is quite the accomplishment if you know our story at all, and hopefully it proves as like kind of like a concept as like a concept piece for other people that inspires people to. I mean, you don't have to have a plan necessarily, or even just like even have barely met the other person, and you can you can get this going, get the conversation going, get in the community uh more relaxed with everybody else and being around one another. And hopefully we in the future we always talk about this, but meetups and things of that nature. But in the meantime, it is while we have this platform, it is a good chance to put yourself out there, see, bounce your ideas off the wall, lots of different reasons. But anyway, so we're celebrating 50 here, but it's not really anything. We don't plan on quitting anytime soon. So 50 really won't be anything in the long run, but it's a milestone as it is right now. um but yeah, as far as what the episode will be about is we're obviously going to cover the race. It just ended for us here. uh of course, we had the Xfinity race yesterday too, so we'll talk a little bit about both of those. And then as far as in the buzzing in the headlines, we've had a couple of stories. I'm sure you guys have heard about the Minneapolis church shooting, and so I'll expound upon we will expound upon that, potentially go into the numbers with it, um, or at the very least point you to where you can get very good information about those that event. And then we also had more recently, just a couple days ago, the Trump is dead hoax. I guess he hadn't been heard from in a couple of days or something, blah blah blah. Who cares? Um, but I guess we will today, and we'll talk about that. What it, maybe not talk about what it is so much as what we think it means and what it should mean to people and things of that nature. But without further ado, I'll send it down to Austin, see how his week's been going. How you doing, bud?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy week. I was pretty busy, just a lot of work and hours, a lot going on this week, so I didn't really um have much time to really catch up and look on a lot of things. So it's kind of some things I kind of caught here and there this week, other things just kind of going over for the first time or just looking at it from a new angle or something, learning things. But yeah, it's just been another fast week, and it's just hard to believe this is the final day of August. I just final hours. I can't believe it. Just the time is just whipping. It's unbelievable that the year is already coming to an end. It feels like it just began, but yeah, it's crazy. We're almost a year into doing this, almost a year on YouTube, and yeah, we first met up over a year already. Over a year ago already. So yeah, I mean, things are just time is booking, and yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting next so many days, weeks, and months for me, just figuring things out and seeing where things go. This week kind of had its twists and turns, and it wasn't. I mean, there were some good things this week. There were some things that I just thought were kind of weird. Just other things lately that's just been just kind of hard to really describe. But yeah, just so much. There's just so much going on, and it's just so much to deal with at once right now. So I'm just kind of seeing how September shakes up. Um, Going into fall already in the winter, and it's gonna be a very interesting time coming up with the changing of the seasons and everything. There's a lot coming, a lot to look forward to. Um, yeah, in just a few more weeks, we'll be on here for a full year, so that'll be very interesting coming up. And it's amazing that 50 episodes, 50 straight weeks of doing this. So that's a very impressive and great accomplishment. Um, I think it shows, the commitment that we have, and of course, being here every week and doing these and just having something for people to listen to, people to pay attention to. And so that's always great to get into a whole new level with the 50s, and we'll be at the 60s, the 70s before you know it. They just keep going by faster and faster. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll start, obviously, of course, with the big race, like always tonight. Kind of following there on my phone. I see Chase Briscoe basically dominates. Kind of did what William Byron did the first Darlington go around, but where he led almost every lap and then somehow couldn't seemingly finish there at the end. But yeah, Chase Briscoe pulls it off in dominating fashion. And yeah, something that's been a repetitive um, repetitive theme lately is the guy who's won the race the year previous has been going on to do it the next year as well. So that could be a big clue for these races in the playoffs. Just 9 races left to go in the year already, and it's uh, could be a theme that we just keep seeing happen, especially with these upcoming races. There's a lot of different. We got some road courses. We got some ovals. So there's going to be a lot of different people that. I mean, I won't be surprised if we get people that aren't playoff drivers that end up winning some races too. So it's going to be very interesting going down the line to see how it plays out. But yeah, kind of an interesting race overall. You had a lot of guys that aren't really in the playoffs perform very well and kind of fill up the top 5, top 10, and that kind of leaves room to kind of wonder, is this going to be? I think this is going to be a huge thing in the playoffs. You can have people that are on the outside looking in that are kind of mixing up and merging with all the guys that are in the playoffs. So that always leads to um, a lot of excitement in different things. Like last week, you had the Larson and Jones going at it for reasons, and that could lead to more things. We have Talladega, so another super speedway, so there'll be a lot of controversy here towards the end of this season with the way things have been going. Everyone now is trying to either get a win or try and do something. They're trying to advance in the playoffs, or they're just trying to do well and perform. So yeah, it's going to get real interesting here at the next couple races.
Yeah, and last week was because I'm new to this whole to NASCAR and as a whole. But so I'm as we go, I'm picking up certain details. Not obviously keep in mind that it's an outsider's perspective, but I also if you followed us enough, these things are rigged. These things are predetermined. That's not to take away from the skill of the drivers. I'm sure these drivers could run circles around the average person. I get all that. Just like nobody, just like LeBron can dunk on anybody. It's not like to say he can't. The athletic abilities there. Um, it's just that they're also good actors. Uh, Sometimes bad actors too, but I guess they're all bad actors, but some are good at acting. Anyway, um, yeah, so, so I'm picking up on things, and a little bit like some certain things I didn't realize is like the different tracks tend to cause different um like during the race. I wasn't aware of like the logistics during a race, for the fan, and that like certain like the lanes are competing with one another along with the drivers competing with the other drivers. um but yeah, a lot of the controversy that I've been hearing, I didn't really quite understand, because it would be, people from different garages, and they'd be arguing with each other about, it's just like, well, what do you expect? He's against you. But like, you can be against somebody like a rival in the sport and everything, but basically if you guys are in the same lane together, it doesn't do you either one of you either any good to be bumping each other and like causing a problem for the lane that you're in, because if you're in the middle of that lane, you're as good as stuck there until your lane can get ahead of the lane next to you, type of deal. So, and when I say lane, that's like, keep in mind there's 40 cars, and when they're all bunched up together, like the vertical lot or verticals or lanes, just like, obviously just like the street. And yeah, so basically you'll have post race. I would always like look at articles post race about like certain drivers to try to get a beat on the next race or whatever, or it just pops up in my feed. And I never really quite understood why you had drivers in different garages being like, he didn't help our lane out. You know, he was really going in there and bulldogging, and he's not really helping our lane. And I'm just like, what do you mean helping your lane? It's like he's trying to win the race, but no, it makes enough sense to me now that yeah, it's like so like even rivals have to like work together in certain lanes, and when that doesn't happen, you'll get a bunch of bitching after the race. And that's kind of like the drama of NASCAR. They're able to stir that up pretty consistently because I've seen a ton of articles with that exact same thing in mind. As you mentioned, the Eric Jones and Kyle Larson thing last week, there was some bumping and grinding without the prom music, and Eric Jones was none too pleased. But Eric Jones is somebody that we've seen do some of his best racing, unfortunately, at the end when he's already out of it. But he's somebody to watch for maybe play spoiler. Um, but even moreover, just moving forward, I did want to mention one thing about our total prediction about the Ford Pete and uh, how that's kind of shaping up after race one in the playoffs. One Ford broke the top 10. He had Busher break the top 10. All the other Fords underperformed, which you might say, oh, that's not a good sign. I'm sitting here thinking like this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If like Fords were winning, I'd be like, oh dang, wait, what the hell? Because I thought they were gonna be like bad and then like still win. But so as it stands, yes, the Fords did terribly. Let's see. I mean, I think my boy Blaney was like 18th. Busher was the best Ford. One Ford in the top 10. That's like crazy. I mean, it was Toyota dominated.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Like it was all Toyota. Like even Chevy really did not do anything in this race. I mean, uh, besides really Allmendinger was the only one to really do anything.
mhm.
Kyle Busch just very quietly in eighth place. So yeah, I mean Chevy didn't even make any noise. It was just Toyota, 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 Toyota all race. So
Of
this
course,
was just
Kyle Busch. Of course,
I was a
Kyle
bit
Busch has
surprised too. They didn't like last like how you had Byron just almost set a record in the last race, just dominate, lead every single lap, and then look at this one. He wasn't even a factor. He wasn't even. I mean, every time I seen him, he was like 10th or worse. So I mean, he wasn't even
middle of the
anything.
pack.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean Barry, I think finished dead last. Yep.
yeah.
So what are there? Four Fords. Barry dead last. Logano middle of the pack. Blaney just above that, and then of course the top breaking the top 10 with Busher. Or well, Busher's not even in the playoffs. So Cindric, it's just out of the top 12, top 10. So I would say that this is kind of where I want to see it, and as long as there's a Ford or two alive next round of the playoffs, I'm sitting, I'm not sweating. Of course, whatever happens, happens. It's just I think we've definitely honed in on a narrative, and not to say that it is the right one just yet, but I feel like this season's gone by, and we've been able to see certain things that maybe they're obvious too. I'm not sitting here tooting our own horn saying we're the smartest, most capable, just so like see everything type of people. But we've been able to break down the narratives pretty consistently. And I say break down the narratives because it's like the numbers have been backing up our like intuitions, which I know that might sound kind of off. I don't want to paint gematria as something that you add to an intuition. That's not what gematria is. But I'm just saying, how many times have we had like honed in on a driver and then we do the numbers on them and we're like, oh dang, like it's
Yeah.
there. That's kind of what I mean. I'm not, so I feel like we've honed in on that on the narratives for Fords, and yeah, anything can happen. There's been a lot of, maybe not even narratives, maybe the main narratives, but so, there's still that it, part of inkling in my head that, this could be Hamlin's season to kind of bolster that whole, because why I say that is because this off season or not off season, mid season um, court case, this is going to come to a head. And in my knowing, not my opinion, things that enacting change takes energy. Things have to be, you know, there's a ritual to it. So, yeah, I could see Denny Hamlin winning and it just being like a big FU to NASCAR because this is, every time you read about 23XI, they're talking about they're going to fall apart without their charters. They're going to, they won't be there next season. What's it going to be like for Reddick and Bubba and, blah, blah, blah. And so it's very, very much so something that for all we know, the 4 wins Denny Hamlin got was that ritual. Because think about it, that is pretty interesting. The co-defendant or not defendant, the because they were suing NASCAR. I can't think of the word. But between him and Michael Jordan, they're the 2 co-sponsors of the lawsuit, and he's tied for most wins that same season. That seems a little on the nose there. That's at plus 4 wins. That's a lot of wins. So obviously that point's already proven. Whether or not that is the grand total of what that lawsuit's coming to fruition will entail is those 4 wins from Hamlin. Who knows? So yeah, I still think I've still been kind of sniffing. That's a weird way of putting it. Looking at Hamlin, and for anyone that wants to go back and check out, I wouldn't be able to reference them the exact date episodes right this minute, but we were able to call. He almost hit a 3-peat in the middle of the season, and he hit a 2-peat. We called this 2-peat, and man, I've mentioned this multiple times, but his 3-peat, it looked like Vegas had to switch it up like right at the end of that race because he was about to win. But anyway, so we've been really looking at Denny Hamlin, comparing that to his lawsuit and other factors as well. So along with that narrative, I think we've noticed some things with the Gibbs drivers and obviously the Hendrick Motorsports drivers, just tied to Jeff Gordon. But I'm sure that we need to look into a lot more with the garages and the owners and things of that nature. This is something that we really need to like get an index of. But as far as just narrative based, we've been pretty high on the Ford Pete, and roundabout way of saying it is with how bad Ford's performed today. I actually think that that's like more validation that this could be the end result. I mean, the only way that I don't believe it anymore, obviously, is if no Fords make it to the second round. So I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the final round there's going to be. I would think probably Logano, Blaney, Byron. Those are the guys those are people you expect to be in the final round of 4. Definitely the round of 8. I mean, I'll be kind of pretty shocked if any of those guys don't make the final 8, for sure. And I mean, I mean, with Ford, especially the way this year has gone, just the way it's set up for, Phoenix being the last race and, them always pretty much dominating there and winning there, being such a great track to have at your last, just to try and get a win or just finish above the other 3 guys. That's just, I think the way it's designed, the way it appears to be going. In this race too, I mean, Logano was, I mean, he wasn't very good. He's been doing a lot better lately. He's been stepping up, but
Mhm.
this race he wasn't very good. Blaney got in a wreck, so yeah, you didn't. I mean, and like I said, the Chevys didn't do anything, and um, it was just, I mean, it was just a Toyota race for really Toyota and stuff. I mean, and you had Hamlin on the pole, Briscoe up there, who's always qualifies really well. So, um, yeah, it was just kind of the race, the way it was going to play out. And that's what the playoffs. I mean, you're going to see, like I said, I mean, I won't be surprised. You might get 2 to 3 people that win races that aren't even in the playoff
Mhm.
with the way it looks and the way it is and stuff. And and that's just the way they keep changing the sport and stuff. I know next year it's going to be, I think they're going back to Homestead, I believe, for the last race, which actually used to be the last race back in like I think it was it was like the two that well it was the last race for a long time. It used to be Atlanta like back in the 90s, and then Homestead came about in like 99, but I think maybe like 2002 might have been the last year where it was the last race of the season. But yeah, from like 2002 to like I think it was like maybe 2020 or 2019 or something, or 2017 or something. It was a long time. That was the final race of the season. Um, until it finally switched, and then now it goes to Phoenix. But then of course, they change it back. So I mean, that's a big part of it too. What race is going to decide the championship, and who's going to have the best shot at it for that reason and stuff, and uh, just changing up the schedule, changing things up, and with making a lot of changes next year. So I mean, that's another thing too. I mean, they might definitely want to change things up if especially for the sport and fans and stuff too, especially if Ford does win 4 in a row, because you just have a manufacturer dominating. And you do see that from time to time. I mean, you do see some manufacturers, maybe it's Chevy or Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson,
Mhm.
especially when Jimmy Johnson won
Yeah, 5
5 in a row.
in a row.
Yeah. I mean, even when kind of like Jeff Gordon won, and it was and even like Dale Earnhardt and like Terry Labonte and stuff. I mean, it was Chevy for a long time, and then Ford had some really good years as well, and then Pontiac and stuff like that. So you have these different uh, manufacturers, different makes, different times. Have time to shine, win some championships, win races. So they like to do that a lot, just kind of see who's going to be the top guy for a little bit, who's going to be that guy. And for the last 3 seasons, it's been Ford. So so much going on that Ford. Pete Joey Logano's trying to get his 4th championship. Blaney's trying to get his second. You got Austin Cindric, who I won't be surprised if he does somehow like make like the round of 8, and then you got like 3 Fords in there or something. I mean, I'd be pretty surprised if Barry's still in there. I mean, if you got 4 Fords in the final like 8, I'd be pretty shocked at that. Um, I definitely think there'd probably be at least one Ford getting eliminated this round, and maybe Stindrick the next round. But um, yeah, it's just the way they're shaping it up, and that's what they want to do too. I mean, especially you just look at like the Xfinity series right now, just Zilich just dominating it. I don't know if he did actually finished this race in the car. In the last race he had to get out, but was credited with the win still. So he's got 8 wins on the season, which is he had 1 win last year. He's got 9 wins already in his career. 8 this season. I mean, with the way he's going, he's gonna probably win like 14, 15 races this year total. He's probably got another 5, 6, 7 wins in him with the remaining 9 races or whatever in the playoffs. So um yeah, I'd be shocked and surprised if he doesn't win the championship the way he's dominating. I mean, I don't see anybody that's, when they put him in Cup next year. It's gonna be really interesting to watch the impact that has, what car he's going to be in, and um, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. This kid out of nowhere, 18, 19 years old, just gets in the car, just like Ginsburg, just gets in, starts winning. I mean, and they're both driving the 88, so go figure.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And this was in my stomping grounds. I used to live right next to Portland International Raceway. PIR is its namesake. But yeah, he did finish. Um, Yeah, I guess it was a overtime win. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anything that happened. I guess we can compare it against the
And he did it right in your backyard too.
yeah in that WeatherTech jumper. It's just so. I mean, it really is so strange that the 88s are sponsored by the same. I mean, I guess that makes enough sense because like I do. Does Zillich and do they like share garages? It's just a sponsor, so it's just like can't would sponsors have a tendency to go sponsor more drivers in the same garage? Like I saw that Reddick used to be sponsored by McDonald's, or he's gotten a McDonald's sponsorship before, which is now mainly with Bubba, but they're in the same team. So I don't know. There's things to be discussed and figured out for these sponsorships too. Because I mean, there's so many layers. It's like it seems basics on its face. NASCAR, it's like drive, race, fast, go, pedal, turn left. But there's a lot of different factors when it comes to. I mean, just look at how many times the sponsorship. Obviously, the sponsorship plays into it. Um, there's the sponsor, there's the garage, there's the owner, there's a lot of different moving parts. And one thing is interesting is like it almost feels like there is somewhat of a slight concerted effort to keep the sponsorship under wraps until around race day. Because like some drivers you can find out their sponsors like pretty easily, and others it's like not until race day or the day or post race do they post who their sponsor was, and that's definitely been a big factor in a lot of these decodes, if you will. But yeah, Zilich pretty much unstoppable, and you've mentioned that he's on his way to the Cup Series next year, so I think we have our work cut out for us trying to figure out where he's going to slot in uh, next season. Are they is he just going to be a phenom? And if so, will he be a phenom that wins big in the playoffs? Or are they still, giving their flowers to the veterans that are are racing now? So why I'm framing it that way is it's just narratives. It's just like they have a few ways that they can go about doing this. Things are on a cycle. They can, you're never going to have, just like the NBA. You're never going to have young teams winning every year. It's there's certain things they got to stick to in order to maintain the kind of like the essence of the sport. And so these talking points about like, because if let's just put it this way, if this was like guaranteed not rigged, on average, the better athletes and the younger and the more able are going to do better. It's like, yeah, you can be well coached. It's like, okay, how this guy is dunking all over you and you can't do anything about it. What's your coach going to tell you in order to stop the dunking from happening? There's not a whole lot that a coach can really do. Um, but in the NBA, they'll make it seem like the coach can magically shift the game with their brilliant minds and their play calling and their terrible timeout usage at the end of games, which has just been the funniest thing. But in my opinion, they purposely, for legacies, that's what the word I was looking for the legacy of certain players and teams and things of that nature. They pay homage and you know, so will Zilich come in and have to pay his due? I mean, for God's sakes, he already risked a head injury to prove he's in the club. So we'll see. Well, he's obviously getting uh a big time push this year, as you mentioned. So to think that he's going to go to NASCAR and or the Cup Series and fizzle, I doubt that. I highly doubt that. And then, of course, next year we'll have Zilich and Gisbergen, and that'll be an interesting dynamic. It'll be a very interesting dynamic. Also, it'll interject another road course specialist, if you want to call it that, into the mix to kind of make the sport more three-dimensional. Because as it stands, before Gisbergen, who was like the road course specialist? I think you mentioned like Stenhouse being potentially good at road courses, and a couple of others that but who are the main? It's not Bell. It's not these guys who are prolifically winning. It's not Byron. So it's like these guys are definitely being used as tools, and like you've mentioned before, it's like I've mentioned them being used, or in Gisbergen's case, as a tool to kind of propel that super speedway, or the overall not specialist, but the overall best driver. It'll take him getting a win on a road course against this Goliath of road courses, Gisbergen, and that'll be that narrative is like, wow, he really does deserve the championship because he was even able to beat Gisbergen on a road course. But you've also mentioned that Gisbergen could also just wipe the floor, and they could do the opposite. Maybe Gisbergen gets a crazy speedway win against one of these guys, and they use that reverse narrative. And I mean, it's likely enough. So we'll see once we have two prolific winners in the league in the league at the same time, or in this Cup Series at the same time next year. But that's a whole lot of speculation. As for the next race that we can more easily speculate on, that's going to be well, actually, that was a pretty good segue, because the next race is a road course. And we talked just briefly before, but you were saying they've made Gisbergen basically a monster, an alien at these road courses, haven't they?
Oh yeah, and it's the way they talk about him. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, just to hear the words they say to describe him. Oh, he's an alien. He's a mutant. He's a freak. I mean, you just never heard people say this stuff before about somebody, and just yeah, with these two road courses, and I think I'm not sure if this is the first time they've gone to this race, or this is a new racetrack or whatever. I'm not even
Oh,
sure, but
maybe yeah, we'll see. No, sorry to cut you off. It's just this is multiple things, so I don't know if it is a road course and an oval. So I don't know what it's going to be. I'll work on that in the background. Sorry to cut you off, bro.
yeah, it's gonna be real interesting because he does if he does Ginsburg, and that is when there's not, like, I've looked at this racetrack too. They don't really show much on it, which is weird. So I don't know if this is a brand new track or just something they've introduced, and this might be the first race there. I'm not even sure, but yeah, Ginsburg has a shot of winning two more road courses this season, and then they would put him. He wins this one and he wins the other one. It'll put him at six in a row. So he'd
Oh,
be
it's an
tied with.
oval.
Oh, it is an oval. I
So
see.
it has a road course option at this particular place. So I read road course and I thought it was a road course, but no, they can go oval too. So it'll be at oval. So never mind. So Shane doesn't get his oval chance until the round two. So this could be a big thorn in his side for you can have
Yeah,
the
he's
tide.
got pressure on him. He's got to perform and hope other people do pretty bad because he hasn't showed anything on the super speedways or the speedways or anything with an oval. I mean, it's
Yeah,
week after week.
imagine
I'm
that.
looking for top fives, top tens. Oh, you got to have a good finish somewhere at some point, but week in, week out, it's always mid pack or back of the pack. So
Very interesting. Okay, well, sorry for the confusion, anybody. You can see why I was confused. It's a relatively new course that has the option for both. And obviously, if you read right here, I just saw the road course there and ran with it. But yeah. So this is near a Jesuit university. Let's see, Madison, Illinois, named after James Madison, of course. So let's see. Oh wait, a long ass name too. So
Yeah.
of course I'll look at the acronym as well. You know, it's kind of funny. It'd be funny if a track house driver won because Pitbull was their co-owner or whatever, and he was known as Mr. Worldwide.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Worldwide. Oh my God. Talk about the most cringy. I can't believe people when the world loving Pitbull back in the day was a tough time to live in. Woo! Tough. Let's see.
313, 133. Interesting numbers.
Yeah. Isn't it 313 Detroit?
I think so.
I always get this mixed up, so hopefully I got this right. Or wait, no, area zip code. No, area code. Yeah, 313. Interesting, because Ford manufacturers in Detroit. Just a little side note. Just a little side note. Calm down. Calm down. I am going to write it down real quick. Let's see. WWTR. WWTF. A double 24.
84, 21,
84,
Austin
21.
Jesuit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this is what Madison. Oops. Is that how they listed it? Yeah, Madison, Illinois. Illinois is IL, I think. They haven't written a lot of letters.
Yeah.
So, but it does have that 42 and the 96 just like without it. Interesting. Let's see. Does it not say when it opened? Like just okay. Open in night. Well, an old. It's built. The new facility is built on top of something that opened in '67. Interesting year. 2011. Okay. Curtis Francois. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's. I guess one of the best ways to potentially look at this is just look ahead through this driver averages. Oh, they haven't updated, but okay. Oh yeah, duh. It's because they haven't raced here. Never mind. So this is the worst way. I guess I should keep it open though to compare last wins. So we could try starting with Fords again, just as far as playoff cars. Maybe I can take the blinders off and stop looking at the playoffs so much and just see if there's something overwhelming. You know, it'd be kind of interesting if Gisbergen got this win on a hybrid course. You know, an oval that can be a road course. That it seems kind of weird to mention that, but I don't know. It just seems like could be a little inside joke type of deal.
Well, we know he's good at those first time racetracks. Those first time
That's a good point.
they bring a new track, he hops on it. It's a road course, but maybe this is that lucky oval for him.
September 7th.
Plus, he's got a couple wins in Illinois at the Chicago road course. So
yeah, good point. He owns Chicago. Let's see. I believe his birthday is
my town.
You just make that up? Or is that like a saying? Because that was clean.
I know. I was gonna say, someone had to come up with that before me.
I don't know.
I can't be the originator. I don't know. Ginsburg is going to use that one if he wins it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember his birthday, but not the Pope. It's fine. He's my
He'll be
Pope.
kicking that rugby ball all the way to Portland.
Okay, so from his last birthday, 20 weeks in one day. For a man on the 100 who was, born on the 129th day of the year. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
So I'll sorry, I just want to start indexing some of these things in case I do more research throughout the week. I can put out a community post. What about his next birthday? 32 weeks on the nose. Interesting. He let's just go here so I can. I guess I could have just looked at Watkins Glen, whatever. It's August 10th. "48 days after its last 6 weeks, 6 days."
Is that the upcoming race on 9/7, or is that the when the
crap.
I was looking at that 27.
My
I'm like,
bad.
oh,
Okay,
wait.
let's run that back. My bad. Good eye, mate. Okay.
121.
Okay, good. Good catch there. September 7th leaves 115 days of the year. Okay. And then I guess from his last one, 28 days later. Damn. That 201 was oops. Oh my god, I can't spell. What is it? Gibbergen. I can't remember how I.
Or is it Van Gisbergen? Or
oh my gosh, I can't spell. Yeah, it's namesake. 201. That's why I was like, kind of my eyes lit up at that 20 weeks in one day. I'm glad you caught that. But he does have the 66 too.
Yeah, the 60, the 123, all big numbers.
Well, that'd be interesting. But be his 6th win. But anyway, always gotta check on my boy, see what his likelihood is. Let's take a look at Hamelin.
DH.
November 18th. So from his last birthday, 293 days. Doesn't seem like a prime, but it is 60-second prime. Okay. 62 is interesting. Or maybe it's 26 I'm thinking of. No, Jordan 62 and 26. But he's obviously on 23XI with Jordan.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking he's going to win a race in the playoffs and get to at least 59 wins.
That would make a lot of sense. And let's see, 72 days to his next birthday. Interesting. 72 is a fateful number for them good old Jesuits.
Flexion of 27.
This would be near the Jesuit University, too. Okay. See the dark horse himself. December 31st. 250 days since his last birthday. It's interesting. 25. And 115 from his next birthday on the 100th day, leaving 115 days left in the year. More. What's his full name? Oh, it's 160. Okay. Okay, never mind. Nothing jumping off the page quite yet. Did I? Oh, I haven't put his birthday in this. Oh, yeah, I did. He just won
Daytona.
Yeah. What was that? 2 weeks ago?
That was last week.
Last
Last
week.
Saturday.
Gotcha.
Eight days ago.
$241st day of the year. I guess I could have just done the math backwards. I don't know. Technology, so helpful. So that's the 241st day of the year you won. Okay. All right, real quick. I guess this hasn't been our winners from the last year is not really going to hold up at this track, right? I mean, I guess I could look at the track. Hasn't updated it. See if they have it listed for the future. What, I've already forgot where the hell it is. No, Illinois. Duh. I don't know if they. I don't think they've updated this one to this website yet. Anyway, yeah, I don't think they've driven on this course yet, so it's interesting. Could be wrong, but it's not updated yet, so I'm not gonna go through the Google rabbit hole right this minute. Interesting that Kyle Busch gets one of his best placements the week after he's out of the running.
Yeah, probably besides him and Allmendinger, really I mean, Kyle Busch was so quiet in this race, just kind of sneakily there, matching his car number. But yeah, then Allmendinger. Yeah, other than that, it was the Toyota show.
Let's take a look at our boy Kyle Larson. 38 days from his birthday. His next one would be 307. And this one lists all of them. I think so, yeah. What the fuck? Oh, okay. By their last names, I see. Can't remember when his last win was. Oh yeah, Kansas. Okay, May 11th. Five one one.
It's insane. He hasn't won almost 4 months already. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he won those all pretty clustered together. Those three. Yeah. 17 weeks on the nose. Of course, got that 119 is pretty telling. So 119 since his last win. Last win coming on the 131st day of the year. Of course, we always kind of highlight our boy Kyle Miata.
Yep.
You gotta have your car puns in your name.
Yep.
He does have the share of the 96 and the 231, like Madison, Illinois, where the race is taking place. So that's something to think about, or at least take note of.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good numbers. You always got to watch Byron. You got to look for the governor and see what's going on there. Because
let's go double check. Let's see what his slate is. Good old Billy.
Can I see your schedule there, Billy? Can I see what you're gonna be up to there,
Where are you going
Billy?
to be next week, Billy? No reason. Just want to
Billy.
shake your hand. Why is Bill E called Spaceman? This is a different Bill E. At least I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I guess I could. I'm good. You know, like, yeah, I'm good on all of that. I just want to shake your hand. This guy's like, fuck you. Why do they got to do this? If I wear max amounts of denim, I'll look like one of them.
He's wearing a suit and tie. He's telling you a lie.
Chickadee says, where are the files, Bill? The NASCAR files, where are they?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Are you in them? Is she talking about the Epstein files? Like, is he like a chairman on that? Huh.
You
That'd
know
be
all
something
about
to look
you,
into.
William Byron Lee.
Yeah. I know what you've been up to, William Byron. I should post that right now. I know what you've been up to, William Byron. Look at your like she's trying to leave like this thoughtful post. This could be about our episode could be about this. These just people. What is your picture? Why do you have a little lady weird cartoon? Are you a real person? Why are you doing this? Ah, that pisses me off. More than Bill Lee. So I don't know what he's been up to other than shaking people's hands and pissing people off, but hard to tell where someone's going to be, especially a politician. But that being said, we can run the numbers. It's 32 days from his or to his birthday. From his last birthday is 333 days. Interesting. Let's just take a look at
Yeah, this track's a lot similar to Iowa where William Byron won too, so could see Hendrick maybe it's gonna be a Chevy race or Hendrick race.
November 29th. Okay.
7 months after me.
9 months, 9 days. 83 to his next birthday. 2 months, 22 days. Interesting. Hmm. Wasn't it 333 days from the governor's birthday?
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense. Wait, am I tripping here? Compared to the race day. Okay. Maybe I'm tripping. Or isn't that weird?
I'd say it's at least a little weird.
Wait. Yeah, from his last birthday was 333 days, and William Byron's birthday is on the 333rd day.
Could this be?
Are there any races in Tennessee coming up?
Yeah, Bristol. That's coming up Saturday.
Oh,
And
there's another. Oh man, there's the second Bristol race. Okay.
yeah,
Well, let's take a quick break here.
I think
Oops.
that's after next week too. So yeah, that governor, he better. He's
I better
squirming
be
right
there.
now. We know it's Ron. He's squirming.
I bet he'll be there. Did I pass it? Okay. Okay, so the Bass Pro Shops. Okay. Yeah, so 2 weeks from now, I think I know where Bill Lee's going to be. If anyone wants to know Bill Lee's location, no, I'm just kidding. Good old Billy. I know where one William Byron will be. Whether or not there'll be two William Byrons here, that remains to be seen. I would assume that he would. You know, he was at a baseball NASCAR event the week that William Byron won. Wouldn't be surprised if the race, a playoff race in his own state, he's not there. Interesting. So this will be the 13th. That's a Saturday race.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's the only night race, Saturday race in the playoffs too. I think.
Poor old Billy's gonna have to stay up.
Can you handle a Saturday night there at 65? I'll be okay.
Yeah, fuck. 23 days to his next birthday. 'Man, I cannot keep track of November 29th. I knew the 29th. I couldn't remember November. $291. Oh, yeah, it was a leap year last year. It'll be 74 days till his birthday.
I'm a 913, 913. I think Larson won the last Bristol race this season. So
Oh,
earlier
did he?
this year. I
That's a
think he
good
did,
point.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's been a theme. So I wonder if you could speculate ahead. That's an interesting. Let's see here. I guess it'll go by points, whether if you haven't gotten a win. I mean, man, what an interesting. I wonder how many people had Chase Briscoe highlighted on their card for making it deep into the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah, it's been interesting. He's qualified so well this year. He's been like the
Yeah,
top
I've noticed.
qualifier. So.
Yep. He cooks on the qualifying, that's for sure. Guess that'll be probably part of his narrative moving forward.
Started the year the 500 on the pole. Pretty much rarely qualifies badly. So Eric Jones, when's he going to get a win? Been
100,
chipping away at it week in, week out.
100 days even from his last birthday. Eric Jones. He's got the 106 and 56, huh?
43, like NASCAR, 56, 43.
106, 56, and 43.
Yeah. And he used to drive the 20 car, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's when he won his first race, too.
Probably a coincidence, though. I wouldn't worry about it. Just erase from memory. You're not supposed to remember that.
And now he's in the 43, too. So he's got both the NASCAR, not two of the NASCAR numbers.
Yeah.
Drove both of them. That's interesting.
Absolutely no surprise. He's from Byron, Michigan.
Oh, man.
All right, bro. All right, bro. Okay, so he's a legacy driver. Okay.
Legacy.
Yeah.
See the leggies.
Still signer. Come on. Gotta give her a chance.
Let's bring Leggy to the legacy. I want the legacy legs.
Is that some legacy? All right, that was fucked. Well, for her to go through the Fords, let's take a quick peek at Mr. Logano. May 24th.
Is that 106?
Yeah, 106 days from his birthday. That NASCAR number could be a pretty good way to get him off the schneid and kind of reinstall him as a favorite to win big races with his legacy like we've been talking about. I do tend to believe, not believe, but agree with your take on the Fords in there. Yeah, it really would. It would make the most sense, and maybe it would even be like to some people like the duh bet to say Blaney and Logano move forward, and potentially leave Cindric and Barry behind. That might be like the duh take, but keep in mind this is a narrative we've been talking about since halfway through the season or before that. So actually before that for sure. But yeah, I could see them kind of reinvigorating Logano's image here. Because yeah, I mean he has that win, but he's had a really kind of like they've been kind of dogging him this year. It looks like he's gone through a couple of shaming rituals like crashes and things of that nature where he's like complained after the race, kind of made a fool out of himself. Also, he's been penalized like a ton this year, or his garage or whatever. You know what I mean? They've been
Yeah.
penalized a grip, like post race penalization, whatever the fuck penalties. Yeah, it's just been so a lot of races this year. Their garage has been penalized. I've brought it up a couple of times, but I've seen it other times as well, more than just the couple of times I've mentioned it. So Penske better watch out. We talk about Penske.
Penske Power.
Penske Racing's got that 67. And speaking of Logano's win came. Oops. I'll just keep this here. It's easier. Where'd it go? Also, what win is he looking for? 38, huh? Looking for his 38th win, too. So it was, oh, yeah, May the 4th in Texas. $126 days. 18 weeks even. 4 months, 3 days, like NASCAR. He's got that 43 in his name right there.
Yep.
Like 4 weeks, 3 days since his last win. What's his full name? Oh, yeah, that's right. Joseph Thomas Logan. It's also just never mind. A couple interesting notes for him. Could be a way to propel him as the kind of the front runner for out of the Fords remaining. I could see it. We'll see how he pulls too, because that hasn't always been a determining factor. Because he's had some okay pulls too, and just shit the bed too. So
Yeah, he's had so many races too this year where he's ran well and ran up front, and then just he gets spun out, gets in a wreck, tire blows out. He's had just the worst luck too. So it's like hard. Last week too, Daytona was one of the best cars there, was leading a lot of laps and spins out from the lead. So
well, I don't want to. I'll do my. Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about this last week. That this next race his birthday will be right before. So he will be turning 27 by obviously 360 days. And his name does have the WWTR and Jesuit fingerprints. Very similar. Obviously identical to Jesuit, but has the 84 and 21 and the 42 reflection just like it as well.
yeah, Austin's the only name to have two people in the playoffs too.
Yep.
Same name. Your name's Aust, you're in.
Oh wait, I thought both Chases got in.
Oh yeah, there is the two Chases, yeah.
2 Chases and the 2 Austins.
There's only one Kyle.
He's so unique. He stands above the rest. Well, he's pretty short actually, but anyway, nothing major standing out, I would say. But interesting. Could be a birthday ritual for our boy Austin Louis. Huh. They are right outside of St. Louis.
Yeah. Big Louis.
Jesuit Academy there. Interesting. Anyway, this is where you guys come in. I mean, I really wish I did have like multiple days. Dude, I'm demoing and rebuilding a shed as well as building another shed, a massive shed, um, along with work and just all the other things that come up on a property. I mean, I really got to try to find a way to, get myself on a better schedule so that I can, man, I just decoding. I have not put aside, and I'll blame myself. I won't say I don't have the time. I say, I have not managed my time well enough to get back to like, a good couple of hours of decoding every day or so that I used to do when I first got into this. And I feel like there's a lot of fruit hanging out there that we're missing just because we're not allotting the time to really stew on it and keep track of our notes and things of that nature. Things that we'll have to find a way to do better moving forward. But I hate leaving you guys without a prediction or something like that. We've talked about a few of the narratives, and it might having the on target predictions might slow down a little bit just because we are in the playoffs, and it's like we're kind of looking at those outcomes more than just the race outcome, if you know what I mean. And so we're kind of following our tracking our early season prediction and seeing how that holds up rather than like who's going to win the race. So it's kind of like shifted our what we're looking at, but still running the numbers on these guys it's not like hard to do or anything. And I'm sure that there's narratives hanging out there. So anywhere you guys can help, you guys have given some really insightful comments on the races before. So please feel free to keep those things coming. And anything amounts to anything, I can always put a community post out as well. But if anyone reads the comments, that might be a good place to start becoming like a spot for NASCAR information that people can reference, and kind of like how people use Zach's channel. I mean, I used to see, information on certain things because it'll be Zach's video. I'd watch that and then read the comments and find out 5 or 6 new things. So it'd be nice to have that become something similar. Not just about NASCAR, about, anything, but.
Yeah, and too with the elimination rounds too, and we can do guesses too when it's time, to move, down to 12 and then 8 and then 4 for the 3 elimination rounds that there's going to be, before that race, that cutoff race. We can go through people and see, and kind of guess who we think is going to make it or not make it, and just kind of look at some things. And I think that'll be interesting too, because it does provide that, that element. You take a look at who's going to make it, who's not, who's going to get eliminated, and then who's going to make each round, who's not, and why, and stuff like that, and to see how that actually plays out too. That could be huge. I mean, just like Chase Briscoe won, so he's going to the round of 12, but maybe he doesn't make the round of 8. Maybe he falls out in the round of 12. So he's the only guy that for sure is advanced so far, but maybe he doesn't make the next, or maybe he stalls out in the round of 8. I mean, is he going to go all the way to the round of 4? So, or is he going to be the top Toyota? Is he going to have a shot at the final race? So that's the thing with the playoffs and the way it makes it. It does give you a lot more to look at as far as variables and who's in, who's out, and why, and stuff like that. So, with just 9 races to go, when those cutoff races come for the 3 of them, there's going to be there'll be a lot to talk about those episodes, a lot to look at, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. And it is interesting too because like I said, we are kind of focusing too on the playoffs because those drivers, there's only 9 races left, but you got to still look at the whole field because I'm sure there's going to be a race or 2, maybe 3 that is won by someone who's not even in the playoffs. So there is a lot to look at right now. You kind of got to look at a little bit of everything, and there's going to be some real interesting races coming up. So we got a race coming that we haven't even been to yet. So it's another learning curve and learning experience. So there should be a pretty fascinating week.
And yeah, as I will do, and as I'm hoping people can start adding this into their repertoire, because I'm not the greatest with numbers or anything like that, as has been sort of proven. I'm looking to get better in all those aspects. But what I have kind of toted and touted is my ability to kind of like generate a narrative that makes sense and then kind of fill in the gaps. I've mentioned it before. I call it my sports center brain. But with that being said, keep in mind of narratives that will be playing out. So say there are a lot of non playoff winners and they have to end up calculating through points, something that's not exciting and not obvious, like people just, the people in the playoff field just winning and making it obvious who's going to advance. Look, there's been a lot of complaints this season about the tournament or the setup of the playoff, how they go about the playoffs in the season, and the shakeups they've done to stages and things of that nature. The way the reason why it's changed from stages for 2 stages, I'm sure has pre-existing things that had to take place in order for them to build a narrative to say we're going to change this now because of A, B, and C. So we're living through the A, B, and C of the next change. Keep that in mind. So these, like you said, it very well could be that we get a lot of non-playoff winners, and that becomes kind of like a weird, basically you'll have people getting into the top 8, top 4 who might not have even, raced well. Just, they were, they top 10, but 8 of the 10 drivers each race are non-playoff drivers. So it'd be this weird thing where you have like these underperforming drivers getting through because they're getting the most points, and nobody in the field of 16 is getting the win. And that would provide a weird, like, wow, this season's ratings tanked because it was just boring as hell. Uh, just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen or anything. I'm just saying that's kind of like a possibility for them to constitute later on, switching up this style of how they points and all these things. So keep that in mind moving forward too. It's like there's more things hinging on these wins or these races than just just the winner, whether or not they're in the playoffs or not. There's like the ability to kind of have somewhat of some element of foresight, maybe not for the exact winner of the race, but for a potential narrative. And because once you see things through the narrative lens, you'll notice the patterns. And once you're on board with the patterns, you're just basically just riding a wave with them, and you're basically right there with them. Nothing's going to surprise you. Just like the things we talk about outside of sports. Sports are the exact same way. That's why it's really intuitive. Not to say that you can sit there and guess or tell anyone who's going to win every single game, although there's a person in our teacher who's pretty damn good at that. So it's undeniably so. Um, Not every single game, I'm saying, but with high accuracy, many games that it's inhuman. You could say that if there wasn't the code that we know about and how it takes place, you would sit there and say this guy's a psychic. So anyway, um, yeah, keep in mind the narratives moving forward too, because there's a few different things. There's the charters and how teams will be structured moving forward. That's going to be right as soon as the season ends. They're going into um, that lawsuit. They're going back to court for that. So There's that, and then there's also a lot of people threatening to drop out of Cup Series entirely, saying the format stinks. A lot of big time drivers have been, and then the so yeah. Anyway, keep the narratives in mind. We'll mention them more going forward. We've mentioned a lot of these narratives multiple times, but I'd say that they're right there on the table, and I wouldn't be surprised, like you said too, that Denny Hamlin gets a win just on the back of that lawsuit and keeping that fresh on the minds of people, so that they can have that reference point a couple of years from now when they randomly change something and they'll say, "Oh, look back to when we did this. This remember when Denny got 5 wins and almost won the cup? That was he was fighting with NASCAR that year." I can already see the article. But moving on from there, I figure we can touch on this little goofy uh story, if you will, before getting into a more serious topic, although it is also goofy, but in its own way. But I don't know if you guys haven't heard, there was another Trump death hoax, because that's like kind of his theme. Um, this one just being because he hadn't tweeted or made a public appearance, and he canceled a meeting with senators or something like that, a boardroom meeting or whatever. Who cares? Apparently, that spurred on the top social media influencers on the left. It kind of spurred on this. Oh, Trump's finally dead! Yay! And they were all celebrating, and then it got picked up by everybody, and it became kind of like a real thing where people were either celebrating or panicking. Uh, Meanwhile, homie was golfing, so or not. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe I could see the 4D chess being like he's still able to golf. So rather than them having to prove to you that he can golf still, they'll just they'll give you something. Oh, he died, and then be like, no, he didn't die. He was golfing. So you're not even going to question that he was golfing. You're just, oh, he's golfing, rather than question, wait, he's golfing. This guy, he's dragging his colostomy bag across 18 holes. He's dragging his holes across 18 holes.
Yeah.
Probably just a brown drip outside his pants along the green. Anyway, probably sorry for that image, but I'm who's to say? I'm sure he can still golf. I'm just whatever. Who cares? Um, his his lizard body double can golf just fine. But moreover than just the stupid implications or whatever, I kind of wanted to highlight this because it honestly made me laugh, and then it kind of made my stomach lurch, because it's just sickening. There's people in my family uh, that would have been affected by this, that would have had some sort of reaction to this, and would have celebrated had this been real and he be dead or whatever. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that were panicking, legitimately panicking, and legitimately happy that he might have been dead. And to those people, I ask you this: what the fuck is wrong with you? Who the fuck cares? Like, why would it matter? And at the same time, I'm also going to say, keep doing what you're doing, because for me, it's visibility. I don't want these idiots hidden. I don't want to be surprised by an idiot out of nowhere when shit hits the fan. I want to see the idiots a mile away to know to avoid them. So it actually works great that they just have these huge antennas that just broadcast, I'm a fucking moron, to the whole world. That helps people that aren't. Although I wish they weren't a moron, but better a visible moron than like a hidden problem in the future. But yeah, I just gotta pose the question, because whether he's dead or alive, what does that do for you? What is one single thing that any president has done for you? What about the system that puts the presidents into place? What has that done for you? What about local government? What has that done for you? Uh, and to the 0.000010003% that say they have a cousin who has a friend's mom who was a local politician. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? What did you get to go to a special function once? You like you represent the billions of people that live in this country. That no, it's like the same concept as the same percentage of people I just listed that would say they have a friend's uncle's ex-wife that worked at NASA. And so that means space is, exactly what they tell us it is. That means the sun is exactly where they tell us it is. That means everything is exactly where they tell us it is. And we are exactly where they tell us we are. And we're doing exactly what they tell us we are doing. And it's the same concept. It's this idea that these things are larger than we can control. And in our current state, if we were to come together, we could start retaking these concepts and these ideas and the idea of self-policing and community policing and community tribunals and things of that nature. As it stands, we can't combat against our local government. Our local government I'm talking podunk towns can't compete with their local government. I'm talking sheriffs, offices with five member police force. Look at them keep that whole town straight. And it's just, and they come around, they tell you how to act, you're going to act that way. And I'm not saying there's not a idea of order and law and things of that nature. I'm not saying to just go against that for no reason, but the fact that we rely on these offices to do things for us, and that we can't even eliminate the need for, say you have a population of 1,500 people. Why do you got cops there? Like, honestly, that just is, it's on it. What it really is it's kind of us telling on ourselves. It's us proving to them that we do need 5 sheriffs in that town. And then on top of that, that we're so easy to keep in cages, if you will, not really keep, but to keep under wraps, that those 5 individuals will. And in some ways, I guess this is a good thing. That's not to say that, we're all living in fear of those 5 people, and that's why we're behaving well. It's good to behave well. That's let's not take away from that. But point being is, why don't we appoint them ourselves? Why isn't this a local community thing, the street you live on type of thing, the blocks that surround your house type of thing? And when I was living in Portland, without knowing that I would be moving out here to kind of like the sticks where I live now in Washington, I was starting to get kind of bold about that idea, because one thing was blaringly clear to me, that parents don't care about their kids. At the time, my son was going to school in person before he started doing online school. And I would walk him to the bus every morning, and I would pick him up every afternoon. I was the only parent I ever saw there. And right where we lived was just a terrible part of town, just, it was literally a drop off of a fentanyl drop off hub, where people would just park their motorhomes, and within a week they're fiberglass littering the street, and the whole thing's burned, and that's where they decided to make a school bus stop. I had to almost get into a knife fight with a guy who refused to move, and he was sitting there doing drugs in his car, and they would like be sitting there right at the bus stop underneath of a blanket, lighting up and things of that nature. But my point being is like the school bus driver didn't care, the district didn't care, the people didn't care. And so, I wanted to, start going door to door and saying, hey, What's it going to take for us to all band together and just like, I don't know, put stuff right out in the street and be like, no, who are you? Why do you need to come in here? How much do we need to get stuff? How much stuff do we need to get stolen out of our backyard? How much do we need? How much stuff do we need littering our streets? How many needles do you need to find? How much before we take it into our own hands? We're waiting on Tina's Kotex. We're waiting on the police to come and do their job. I sit there and watch 40-year-old midlife crisis Karens handing out fentanyl to people in their little nondescript government cars, and just right across the street from the bus stop that not while the bus is there or while the kids are there, but on certain days they'll come down there, and I've witnessed it multiple times, and I'm just like, man, people really got to broaden their minds to like what an official for the government looks like. They look like you. They're you. People just like you are doing terrible things in your communities. And they're not just the bums out there, they're also the people that are pushing that agenda, keeping people on the street. And it's like I've had issues with my family because I'm, have a tough mindset on like bums, whatever they call them houseless now. Like, bitch, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Fat people are I don't know, chinless. No, that's still mean. I don't know what do you call nicely fat people?
Jollies.
They're
Oh,
jolly.
yeah, sure.
Anyway, that we soften up the blow to these people. There's no shame involved. And I'm not saying that shame is going to be the be all end all, but there's something to them knowing it's not okay to everyone else around them. I do think that there's a level of like push them out of your area until they conform to not to the system of the shitty system we live in, but to normalcy, to and if they're not willing to do that, then I it's tough to say this because I understand there's a lot of outside factors. I understand that. I can sympathize with a lot of those things, but once the brain there's a level of dedication to remaining a certain way. And I know that for lesser reasons, like I know people might be offended that I talk about smoking cigarettes as opposed to, in the same sentence as fentanyl, but I'm talking about the mindset. There's a reason I've never done any drugs like fentanyl or crack or anything, obviously anything like that. There's like I didn't. It's not like, I made sure I wasn't around it. When I saw it, I wasn't near it. I understand that there's circumstances and people have mental health issues and things of that nature. It's just at the end of the day, it's not about blame, but at the same time, who do you blame? You can blame the state all you want, but and in a way, I guess the state is kind of putting the pipe right to their mouth. I've seen it, but I still think I still side on free will. I side with free will. And when free will's losing like that, I can't sit there and be on your side. So it might seem heartless, but really, I would prefer these people build the will to be able to kick these things and find some way. I don't even know what that entails. Once you get past a certain point, you you know what you've done to a certain extent. You know what you've done. It's like anything else. It's like eating yourself into oblivion. It's like anything that you're able to just see yourself do it, know you're doing it, and when you walk past the mirror or whatever, when you catch glimpses of it as you're changing into that thing, you don't stop yourself and you don't hold yourself and say, stop. Don't go there. Don't go. You got to turn back. If you don't turn back and you make no effort to do that, I'm not on your side. So it can be anything. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be. And it's like, it comes across as heartless because these people are houseless and they have all these problems. It's just like, yeah, okay. You know, are they ever knocking on my door saying, "Hey, is there anything I can do for this community?" I feel like I'm a burden staying out here. I try to keep my trash clean. I try to not have it. There's not a single one. Guys, I want I need to see evidence of these bums that are just like, I am so sorry for the burden I'm putting on you guys. Is there anything I can do for you to make this an easier transition because I'm struggling? Or that's it's if it does happen, it's that outlier 0.001% that is not worth. That's not who I'm talking about. So I don't know where we got, how we got here, but my mind's gone right there with them. But yeah, you're either lost in the sauce with enough money to have a house, or you're lost in the sauce without enough money to have a house. You're it's it all blends the same to me. Really, it's tough to separate them sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, I mean, it's interesting too with Trump lately too, making doing his little martial law thing there in Washington D.C. and making it illegal to be homeless. It's legal to be homeless. Homeless everywhere, but in every state, but it's illegal, but whatever. But yeah, you got all these things going on, and it's like I said too before the show tonight. Why? Why do it's like we're in Washington State? Why do we care about some fat orange loser retard that's 3,000 miles away in Washington D.C.? Like, I don't care about anything going on. I don't care about that. It's like, why would we worry and care about that? It's just what people worry about and care about, and yeah, like what you were saying with homelessness and the drugs and stuff. I mean, and how that's just taken over and taken over everywhere too. I mean, there's so many things going on right now. They're just taking over people and in life, and just it's amazing. And the thing is, I mean, it's a situation like you said. I mean, I'm all in favor of free will too, and um, being able to do whatever you want to do and live how you want to live and be who you want to be. Uh, and a lot of people, I mean, like you said, they end up in these positions uh, for a lot of different reasons. Financials and money and mental illness and just trauma and other things, and there's a lot to it. And just like where society is and where it's going, I mean, you can't look at like these things, because I mean, these things weren't really, I mean, there was always homelessness, there was always drugs, but there wasn't all this fentanyl and people looking like zombies and all just chewed up on the streets and just everywhere. I mean, it's going on everywhere. I mean, there's no place untouched, there's no place the stuff ain't going on. And yeah, it's just going to keep getting worse. And then you have all these agendas just combining, like I just said, with him. Oh, you can't be homeless. It's illegal to be homeless. And then that's just going to, I think, what do you do? Just throw these people in jail. But then what do you do? Then they're just going to come back out. They're going to be homeless. You put them back in jail. It's going to be this never ending cycle. And it's just, uh, and it's no different than like them trying to, censor the internet. Oh, for the children. It's like, no, they don't give a fuck about the children. They never gave a fuck about the children. That's why you think this is really for the children. You think you got to give them your ID to make videos to, uh, be on YouTube or watch YouTube videos because, for the children. No, it's nothing to do with the children. It's just, uh, and you just see what's going on. Like I said, that little like martial law type deal they got there in Washington D.C. and all this stuff. I mean, how they're just, you just watch the society just decay. It's just decaying on every level. And then, like you said, I mean, how it is down there in Portland, and I pretty much everywhere I've been. I mean, I've been um, all over the place, and this stuff's going on everywhere. I mean, everywhere you go has different issues, different problems, but all these people messed up on the drugs and either the things that they're doing, or they're on the streets, or they're whatever. But yeah, and then you have all these things, people that, like you said, where are the people that want to actually do something, that are in these positions? I mean, it is that 0.0001% that if they're out there, that's what it is. I mean, these people aren't turning around. The country's not turning around. Nothing's turning around, getting better. It's just like uh, everything they've been saying about Trump, lately, his health and how he's been looking and all this stuff. I mean, he's getting ready to die and all this stuff. I mean, yeah, he's just going to keep uh, having this, yeah, his health or whatever, and all these. It's just about all these excuses, all these ways to look bad, and then he just. I mean, it's just like last year with the fake assassination attempt. The fake assassination attempt. You have all these other fake assassination attempts on him. You've all this drama always around him. All this stuff for people to eat up, and it just plagues all sides. Like I said, all the people there. Um, well, all over the country now. It's legal to be homeless. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't be here. You can't be there. It's just all these things that aren't aren't on any level turning around. It's just getting worse. Everything just in this non-stop just uh, bad direction. And then you just look around and it's like, yeah, all these things are happening, but there's no where's the solutions? Where's even the outrage about it? I mean, uh, just the fact that it's like you just see all this stuff going on in places where maybe you never seen it before, a place they're just getting worse and worse. Um, and then just what people care about. Yeah, they care about uh, Trump or politics or oh my God, he's dead or he's golfing or whatever. But I mean, like you said perfectly, why do people care about this? It's nothing to do with you. I mean, what did Trump ever have to do with anything in my life? Nothing. I mean, what does he do? He goes along with the banker scams, goes along with the elites, does exactly what he's told to do. Is just the most pathetic puppet ever. And you got all these people that just get all outraged about him. It's like I don't care if he's dead, alive, where he is, what he's doing. He's in my mind, he's always out of sight, not of mind. I don't care. I don't care if he comes to Washington State. I won't be giving him any attention. I mean, if he's anywhere near me, I'll be throwing stuff at him. You know what I mean? It's like I don't care. It's stupid. And this is again, it's the distraction. I mean, people should be outraged that it's illegal to be homeless. Well, I mean, all of a sudden you get hit with a natural disaster. Boom, there goes your house, or something happens. There goes your house. There goes everything you had. I mean, and but you can't be homeless. That's illegal. And that's what people should be mad about. Going to jail because you're homeless, or they should be mad about the state of the country, the fact you're uh, dollars worth a couple pennies. I mean, where's the outrage? Where's the solution? So you got this mixture of emotions, you got mixture of direction people, and it's just yeah, it's just dumb. And this is what the politics do and what the politicians do, and then you just watch the agenda unfold. And yeah, it's a never ending cycle. I mean, we had it, just like in when we were out there in Portland, we had that one guy was talking to us like, well, what do you do about this out here? What do you do about it? And it's just like, well, it's just like I said. I mean, there's just people don't care about the right things. People are all caught up in nothing but bullshit. They're wrapped up in the bullshit, and until people just totally tune it out and turn it off and forget about it and worry about and focus on things that actually do matter and things that actually are going on. Um, yeah, I mean, and not never going to change. I mean, you still got people voting, taking stuff seriously, people that still think that the fake assassinations are real, worrying about Trump or something stupid. Uh, it's just pathetic, and then it just goes on and on and on. I mean, here we are. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be how many more things that we have to hear about or deal with this year, and uh, I think about 2026, 2027, 2028. It's not going to get any better. It's just gonna get worse. So you're going to be hearing this story over and over, and stories like this more and more and more, and it's never going to go away. It's going to be in your face all the time. Um, yeah, it's just that's just where it's at. We're just living in the unfortunate signs of the times.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I definitely sense that you're, certainly more outwardly empathetic for the people. And I'm not trying to come across as like a monster. And I really don't think, when I see it, it's not like they make me sick or anything like that. there's times I have been made to feel that way. There's definitely bad apples in every.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, there's definitely agents in that system. And I'm not talking
Oh,
about badges and suits. They are out there doing drugs, keeping the drugs moving, and they're just patsies for these agencies to keep a tabs on the camps and everything like that. Set fires and certain things. Anyway, so never mind those people, but we've talked about this before. It's just seeing all the soldiers on the streets, and I'm not talking about veterans of war, although that is a prevalent thing. So even doubly what I'm saying, but
yeah.
there's soldiers. We're, they're people are indexing these people, and they're saying we have a percentage of the population inundated completely. Will not be a single ounce of resistance to anything that we do. We could make them do anything we want them to do with a baggie that weighs zero point 0.3 ounces. We could have them doing backflips and they have a broken back for nothing, basically. Um, and it just hurts. It hurts to see when I talk about free will. It's like, yes, we have the free will to do what we want, and yeah, that's great, and that needs to be there. But there's consequences too. There's consequences to, like, on a basic level there is. And so of course when on the extremes, these consequences are more and more extreme with the extremes that you put through your body through or your mind through. And it's harder and harder to back away from and do all that. But it, like you said, what do we do? What's the solution? Uh, it's hard to come up with a solution. And if you get into a debate with someone about it, if someone I got into a debate with that and they had the opposite stance I do, that these people deserve all these uh, systems and agencies intervening and keeping them, blah blah blah, because they would die otherwise. I'm gonna just give you the hottest take ever. I think there's a lot of people that want to die. And
Oh yeah.
in the meantime, free drugs and free Wi-Fi is keeping them going. And I'm sure these people have extreme tooth pain, extreme head pain, body pain. These people are in bad shape. They're walking around banging into signs, running into trap. These people are I'm sure when they're not getting their fix, they're in a lot of pain. It's a terrible existence is what I'm painting for you. And there's no they put themselves so far into a hole that now in their head there is no way to back out of that. Like, even if you wanted to start to back out, you can't. You wouldn't, like, if you wanted a cold turkey tomorrow. Well, now your government isn't going to put you on those programs anymore. It's sick. It's sick that if you wanted to get out of that system, you would lose support. You have all the support in the world to stay in it. But if you wanted to get out of it, like it should be pushed for you, good luck, buddy. And what's funny too, to kind of back up that point, you mentioned that guy is talking about homeless. And when we first got to Portland, when we were moving to our eventual spot that we set up, if someone wanted to go back and watch that, I mean, that was a 8-hour video or whatever. Anyway, but as we were walking up there, I was talking to Zach and you about Portland itself, because Zach had already been living in Washington a while, and you were from Washington. And so I was telling you guys about how, the recent changes with Tina Kotek, and because we were going downtown Portland. And for those of you who don't know downtown Portland, it's a fucking mess. Been boarded up since the riots from George Floyd and all that good stuff, and fires and stuff. And anyway, so case having to do with the homeless thing though, when Tina Kotek became governor, she pushed, and I'm not saying she did it. These are all like stupid things that have been planned, but they passed a bill for homeless shelters, and they had multi-million-dollar homeless shelters, top of the line, like hotels. You see other states giving away hotels for migrants and homeless too, but they had like these beautiful buildings. They couldn't get a tenth of attendance there because they had rules. If you came into that building, there were rules. I'm sure they had specific places you could go do your drugs, and it wasn't just wherever the hell you wanted to, like people want to do. And so you have this fight with free will and taking a step out of the darkness you put yourself in. And I'm not saying the state imposed things, whatever, clean beds, water, shower, brush your teeth, certain amenities that you're not going to get otherwise. And at least get you out of the necessarily the environment that you've been trapping yourself in. Either way, either way, let's not. I'm not advocating for these shelters either, just because they're government state ran and it's all part of this fucked up system. But they couldn't keep a bed full. But they taxed us millions and millions and millions of dollars for these like 3 state of the art. And then I Google it and AI has the gall to tell me, oh no, they're all mostly full. Bitch, I go to Portland almost every day. We just had our entire side of the highway burned again. It's happened every year during summer. They camp out alongside of the highway and the whole thing's just black because they're starting fires and stuff. They are not First of all, they're not stealing all those tents. Those tents are given to them. They want never mind all that, but there's a certain element of people don't want to go and help themselves. Even if they find out later that the help isn't what they thought it was, they're not even trying. And that's just really disheartening. Because on top of that, there's just so many levels to it. You have so many levels of people stuck in the rat race in one way or another, and in lots of ways we are as well. And this isn't something that's going to be fixed overnight. But because it's not going to be fixed overnight, we need to work towards it. We need to have the mindset that we can make a change moving forward, and we can at least do it for it. Like personally, I try to instill it into my kids. Secondarily, I am now doing this with you, and you have been speaking out with Zach and without him by yourself to make a change. It's not just to go out there and stir up controversy or anything like that. You're trying to poke that noggin to people's to get them thinking about a different way and a different different subjects and in different ways. And there's a reason for it. There's a calling. There's something that you're aiming to do, that we're aiming to do. And to just sit there and be so pessimistic that nothing ever changes, that's why we're here. Like, we cannot just keep putting it on the back burners and putting it on the backs of our kids. It's not working out. Look at how many kids are on the street. It's not going to work that way. We have to not only instill it in them, but then guide them as well, and and maintain that level. Because if we don't, it makes me like, honestly, it is like a falling feeling. It's like I'm being hypnotized and I have like no control when I stop and think about not being on this earth anymore and my kids moving on without me. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy because I'm relatively young. I got him in there. I got him in the oven pretty young, but still, like, dude, I can't tell you how old 35 feels, bro. I feel like I might as well be 70. And like, I already feel like the knock of death's door, and they're just, dude, it's morbid sounding, and it is kind of dark to think about that kind of stuff. But just like anything we've been talking about, should we just not talk about it then? Should we just no one reference it? Like the homeless thing. you have all these people that take the emotional approach, and they just can't fathom me saying that a lot of them should probably just find a way to die in an area that can easily be cleaned up, because it is fucked up. I understand it's fucked up, dude. I've listed all these things, and I wish, I don't know what the solution is. I'm not saying the final solution, by the way. I don't quote me there. But I'm just saying, like, keeping them on life support. It's on, you know what? I'm coining it. They're on death support. That these people are being kept on death support. Is
Yep.
that ethical? I don't know, dude. It's funny because just a few weeks ago we were talking about that story about um life support and the right to die and assisted
Yeah.
suicide. So that kind of tied into that too. This is state assisted suicide. I think I've heard that term before. I'd never heard death support though. So that might be the title of this episode.
Yeah, putting them on the big death support. Yeah. But yeah, and I mean it's and I've brought up to a couple times too on here too, and I've said too, we the way I see it is I do look at it, you're halfway to 70, I'm halfway to 60, so you got to look at the world 30, 35 years from now. Um and it's like I've said many times, it's like I look at it like we have a leg in the grave already. We got a leg in the grave already. It's crazy. We're halfway there. I mean, it's absolutely insanity. I mean, uh, and you've talked about it too. Like you say, you've really never really done much drugs or been on really anything. I've just always um just smoked weed. I've been smoking weed since I was 17. Um, used to drink a little bit when I was like 17 to like 21 or about 21. Yeah, and I pretty much stopped after that. I was like 22 ish, 21. I don't drink anymore really, but um yeah, just pretty much just weed for me. I never even smoked a cigarette. Uh, so yeah, you have a lot of people. It's like a lot of people they don't even start off with alcohol or cigarettes or weed or something. They might just go to harder drugs, start with hard drugs, or maybe they do eventually build up and get that stuff going up to like fentanyl or whatever. But it's yeah, I mean, you just look at how much life has changed. I mean, when I was born over 30 years ago, there wasn't internet, there wasn't anything. 4 months later, after I'm born, the internet comes out and Craigslist and all the stuff we have today. And, um, another 10 years pass, YouTube comes out and stuff. And now it's been out for 20 years. But like I always say, we're at the end of all of that now. We're at the end of the internet and the end of all this stuff. And that's the thing, we're old enough to know that it wasn't always around, then it came around and it became everything, and now that it became everything, it's going away and it's on its last hinges, it's walking out the door. And um that's crazy that all of that has happened in our life. And that's why I say too, I mean, you can't fathom another 30, 35 years of this and just how much worse everything else is going to get. I mean, and what we're going to have to go through and live through. I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, there's so many levels and variables to everything too that they do. I mean, with it doesn't matter what you're talking about, and just society as a whole. I mean, it's just like everyone right now is like on the verge of just losing it. They're on the verge of just snapping. And it doesn't, and it can be at anything too, at any moment. Then you got all this stuff going on right now. I mean, you got, and like I've said too, and we've talked about as well. Um, we did talk about I have said too, with school coming back too, these shootings and the school shootings and all this stuff. It's going to be worse than ever because they got to push agendas, they got to get the stuff through, and it's just again, it's the same thing. Where's the solutions? Where's the outrage that we have to deal with? And like you said too, I mean, uh, whether how much of this stuff is just totally 100% just all fake, all a lie. I mean, how much of this stuff is real? How many of them real? I mean, obviously, yeah, real shootings and real killings and stuff do happen, but obviously the ones that are reported in the news are pretty much all fake and fabricated and stuff. But you have this agenda just going and going and going and going and going with these shootings, and it's just and school and kids and the people they use for these and how they keep pushing it. And I mean, we've seen it last year with the fake assassination on Trump and multiple other attempts, and we know, and like I've said, those aren't ever going to go away. Or we're just going to keep getting these stories. I mean, um, yeah, it's just at some point it does just it does get to that point where it's just like, man, I mean, I don't know what else there is to do. I mean, these stories just keep coming, and then uh, yeah, I've been, and I, like I said, I mean, I know people do, there are real shootings, people do get shot, but I mean, I've been around, uh, doing things. I mean, I've never seen anybody out just in the open, just get shot or get stabbed or anything. I mean, I've been around situations where those things could have happened to me, or they've almost did happen to me, but maybe that was my family or my parents, or maybe it was a different situation. But, um, again, it's just this fear narrative that they have to drive home, just this fear, 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 be afraid of everything, and uh, don't go anywhere, don't do anything because you're gonna get shot, you're gonna get stabbed, and or whatever. And it's just they just keep pushing this, and it's just at some point there's got to come a breaking point, or it's just gonna transfer to something else. It's like, um, even with the, like, say, the vaccines or something. I mean, right now they could come out and they could say, oh, well, because of the STDs and all the sexual transmitted disease, if you take this vaccine, you'll be all good and you don't have to worry about, yeah, all the problems with sex ever again. You just take this vaccine. How many people would go out and they'll take it, and then boom, it's just going to be like COVID 2.0. I mean, they could stir up something like that. I mean, they could do it with shootings and stuff. I mean, it sounds crazy, a vaccine and a shooting, but they could merge these together with where they have humanity right now. You got, like I
Two
said,
different shots.
everyone, yeah, everyone is on the verge of snapping right now. You got people that are just, everyone is on edge. It's not good. And with all this fear and all this stuff, I mean, again, the school year just starting. I mean, you watch the next few months, especially with the holidays coming up, not too far off. You're just going to hear more and more of this, and there's going to be all kinds. It's going to be some LGBTQT whatever did it, and then some black guy did it, and then some woman did it. Oh, some white racist guy did it. Oh, it was a Mexican that did it. Oh, and this time they targeted a school. This time it was a grocery store. This time someone was trying to rob a bank. This time they were trying to steal a car or something. I mean, they're just going to keep throwing this in our face. And like I said, underneath the surface, you already got, like I said, the martial law things kind of happen in Washington D.C. They're moving these laws, they're moving these things around, they're doing things. I mean, you got I mean, what do you have? I mean, you got our own troops on the streets. We're paying tax money for all this bullshit, and what are they doing? They're picking up garbage. They're picking up trash. I mean, these supposed to be soldiers, warriors fighting on the battlefield, and they got nothing better to do but lock up our own citizens and pick up some garbage, pick up some trash. I mean, again, where's the outrage? Where, where's the solutions? What are we doing? How are more people not mad or frustrated with the situation? And then it's just like, I feel like most people at this point, they're either on the verge of snapping and their mental health is so bad that I think a lot of people just, they don't care anymore. Or they're just too, they're just worried about their own life and what's going on. They don't really care about other things. I just think they have humanity on the ropes, and they're just, uh, lashing away. Um, I mean, look at that, and look at that right on the thing there. Are you a narcissist or whatever? Or the narcissist thing on the on Derek's calculator. That's so weird how that's even a thing on there too. How they for pushing that, but
I miss it. Yeah, narcissist is like the new buzzword. It's the
yeah,
thing that everybody loves to self-diagnose, and everyone has an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend that was a narcissist now. It's just like, what? I mean, people don't even know like what that story, what that word even derives from, like the story of Narcissus, or I've heard it uh, pronounced with a hard K sound too, like Narcissus. But yeah, it's very few people are true narcissists, and it's an inhuman trait. So it comes from either an early childhood development issue or brainwashing. It's not something that is so prevalent that everybody knows somebody who is. It's but you ask anybody today and they've known three, and it's never them.
yeah,
But yeah, you have this this absolute beautiful woman, and it's just like people need to you know just another senseless murder. And what I'm talking about is the suicide at the end of this thing. This beautiful woman felt the need to have to kill herself. And for what? She was out there defending equality. So it's just like even just anyway, obviously being sarcastic here. And like you mentioned, whether or not these things truly happen, I think there'll be a day when a lot of these things come to light as being fake. And I'm not saying every single one of them's fake. And when I say fake, that doesn't mean like it's a fine line. I personally I know that people are easily manipulated. And there's some people that never mind how easily they're manipulated. They're okay with certain agendas for whatever reason. And there's a lot of brainwashed individuals as well. So to tell, let's say you go camping and you're a camp counselor and you have a group of kids that you don't know. Odds on favorite are that camp maintains order with a bunch of kids that aren't theirs. And why are they able to do that? Because they're able to string them along with things they want to do and this and that to maintain like a balance and order between these kids that owe no allegiance. They're there to have fun or whatever. My point being is kids are malleable. You can if you tell little kids to pretend like their friend got shot on a camera, there's certain things that you can just get away with that the kids won't understand the consequences or what they're doing. And there's plenty of evidence about that exact statement. But I'm saying as far as being able to frame these things as what they tell us they are. And that's not to say no one got shot here. I don't know, but the last transgender shooting that took place whatever was it, it's like well, anyway, never mind. Can't remember the name of it. But if you guys remember back that the killer changed their shoes and was just
yeah,
like standing at a window when the police came over there and just like popped her. And like the only image you saw of like an actual dead body was just something laying there with like some limbs, no image of the face or anything like that, or the whole body and showing you what is there. It was just like what kind of they kind of Cobained that one, Oh,
yeah,
there's that bracelet. He's got the bracelet. That's a dead body right there we're looking at. There's a picture of a wrist with a bracelet on it. Close this case up. He's
It's
cold.
Cobain. We know it. It's him.
I would know that wrist. Only he could have had that tattoo. Anyway,
He's the only person in the world to ever buy Converse. No one else could ever own that shoe or have it on.
and speaking of the last transgender shooter, those weren't good shooting shoes. You got to put the Pumas on to really finish the job.
Yeah.
They're like, I might commit an atrocity in some Converse, but when I go, I'm going in Pumas. That should be their like Pumas like ad campaign.
Gives me
But
more speed, more agility out there.
It was barely caught by police. It was so fast. That's what the policeman said. They were like, this thing was bouncing all over the walls. It was so fast. I barely was able to shoot it before it killed me. Anyway,
The agility was
also,
off the charts. He was dodging bullets, man.
at the end of then it just goes to commercial, and then it's a commercial for the Pumas. But yeah, you got Robin Westman here, just an absolutely beautiful woman. And there's an unfolding story. They're getting a lot of narratives out here with this. They're poking at the like the religious aspect, obviously, with it being at a church, but also the other aspect of it too, because it's just like in the Bible, like they basically the devil just came and shot kids. The Baphomet, the idol of the evil worshippers in their book, just came and shot kids. Because he might not. I mean, I don't know what his parts are like, or if he just does his hair. First of all, you're a disgrace to the long-haired men. You anyway. Yeah, it's just a transgender. That's obviously you can understand what I mean there with the Baphomet, lady and man. But on top of that, it's poking at the guns. It's poking at they're getting a lot done with this one. They're checking a lot of boxes with this one. Of course, you got the kids' deaths. 2 kids died, 2 little girls. It's just like, wow, didn't we just have a bunch of little girls die in Texas? What's going on here? What's the theme here? What are we doing? Is anyone mad? Is anyone even remotely upset? And if you are upset, are you so lost that you have to be upset about an aspect of this rather than taking a step back and seeing it for what it is, this whole propagandized narrative that they use these situations, whether they happen or not, in order to sway you one way or another? Once you know that takes place, why would you still give credence to said system? And that's what I'm really hoping that a community like we're aiming to continue to build on the back of Zach's budding community, because really we need more cognitive awareness of just how over and all encompassing it is. They're not in the mission of like tricking the masses, but having like an obvious fault in their plan. These things are highly thought through. It takes some cognitive understanding in order to not fall into traps. It's like any unsuspecting person can fall into any trap. But if you prepare yourself, there's the difference between a person that doesn't think a trap can exist and one that at least knows they exist. I'm hoping that more people at least know of the existence of these traps. And then from there, you can build on never falling in another one, and or what to do if you do fall in one, knowing that you're in a trap. Because that's another issue too, is like sports is a huge honey pot. Is just you have so many people enwrapped in sports, enwrapped in politics, all these major topics. People are infatuated with them. They are mesmerized. There's a spell over them, and you have so much disdain for anything outside of the boundaries that have been put in front of them. It's very much so that that allegory about the shadows on the wall and just staying trapped in the cave because you're so used to what you have, that even when somebody finally escapes and they see the outside world and they're like, holy shit, guys, there's a fat ass like white circle in the sky, and it's all dark and it smells good, and there's like water out there, and you go and tell them, and they're just like, bro, come back, like just stay here. What are you doing? Don't go out there. It's you have this, like, the masses create their own psychosis, and we need to train up the traits of people that don't fall into these traps, that have a sense of less of a sense of naivety, not to be jaded, but to be aware, and to facilitate those traits rather than shy away from them. And the idea of a wholly neutral or good approach to, or what is perceived as good, what feels good approach, rarely is the good approach. What needs when it comes to your body, your mind, and almost every single thing, you need to go through it. You can't just skirt around it all the time and expect a good result. And that goes with almost every single thing in life. That life is themed. Our life is themed. That's why I believe that there is definitely a creative force to all of this. 100%. I think at this point in my life, I actually think it's kind of retarded to think anybody. It's like you can be tricked, like I'm talking about, and I'm not going to sit here and say I know, but I do find it a little bit retarded that you could think that you can work life backwards enough to think that we aren't created, or that this wasn't created, and that it would just came together. I actually kind of find it retarded, and I haven't always been that way, but something about the older you get, and something about having kids, there's a faux creation aspect to that as well, where you're like, no, it's more than likely we're dealing with creation here. And I say that to say that there is a method, and there's not to say that there's a strict right and strict wrong, but there's a method, and you can train yourself one way or the other. The same negative trait, like having negative traits is a trained thing. Having positive traits is a trained thing. Like, which one are you going to foster?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, too, I mean, just looking at these, I know, and I know Zach talks about it a lot. We've talked about it too, but just talking about things just being, created and fabricated and stuff, and things like that. I mean, you just look at even like his picture there. I mean, all these times with these shooters, I mean, it looks like the pictures from, looks like 1990 or 95. Like it's like it's like way back. It's like, man, he didn't get his picture taken in like 30 years or something. It's always these pictures that just look so old, completely out of place, don't make any sense. And yeah, it's just every one of these you get the same thing. So I mean, it's just an ongoing pattern. But yeah, as far as its creation too, I mean, I see it too with a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'll call out, and I'll be like, well, what are the chances of that? Like, just like you look at like the highest like mountains and the highest mountain peaks, like in just like America. You look at like California, and then you look at like Colorado, and you look at like Washington, like just like the mountains. It's like, why would they all be like topping off at like 14,400 to 14,500 feet, like all these mountains, and they're all like the same exact size, and just like the way things look and the way things just, I mean, creation is, to me, it's just, and like I said, I mean, it's just everything. I mean, even to my name, I mean, like I got the Austin, the Jesuit, the William, the Nirvana. I mean, what are the chances of all? It's like, what would the chances of that be? It's like, and then, and like I said, I was told like my sisters named me and stuff. So if that's even true, it's just like, I think a lot of it is just people aren't they don't really think deep about things. They don't really question things. They don't really want to look at a lot of things and just ask that extra inch or that extra centimeter of something that could really uncover something or really get people's minds thinking. I mean, um, just you look at creation in general, just how everything is, just like how we even came to be, the way our lives have played out, and the things that have happened, and the people that have come and gone, and all the stuff we've been through. Just and then you just look at the year we were born, the times, the dates, how it all just lines up perfectly. Um, how everything just has that fine line. And just we sit here and we just realize how rare we are. And it's just like I don't think like a lot of people really think that way. Even if they're smart and they're open minded, they don't see the creative aspect of stuff. That a lot of people don't want to really ask the big questions. Um, because I've always been on that, like you said, that creative mindset where just the idea of things being created and creativity, and where did this all come from and what's really going on. I mean, and just you look at like you look up at the sky, like when I was a kid, I'd always look at the sky and just like be like, well, and trying to like envision things and think about things like, well, how like the Big Bang, how does that make any sense? Nothing exploded and became everything. It doesn't even make any sense. And then just looking at the sky and the stars and just like what even are we? What is this? Just all these things. And I think that's really what it is at the end of the day. I mean, I think a lot of things have just kind of lost their um creativity and their creative touch. And I think a lot of people have too. I think a lot of people, regardless of what they believe, I just think a lot of people don't really think too deep about things. Um, they're quick to write things off, and just I think if you the way we think, I think it's more of a to know things are that deep and that everything has that meaning and stuff. And when you can look and see it not only with yourself or your life or just the world, the earth, um, just why things and how things are the way they are. And then you just look at all these connections. I think it allows you to see a much bigger picture in the world. And I think that's what's missing today, because a lot of people just don't even think about things like that. They don't question it. They don't want to really look into things, and um, without having that kind of idea of things, everything kind of being created from. And like I said, I'm not necessarily religious or anything like that. I believe in like a higher power, creation, creator type deal. Maybe there's multiple gods. Maybe the gods are women. I mean, I don't know. I don't claim to know really anything. Really, it's just I just think that there's something or someone that's almost like a guardian angel type deal that's just working with us on like through another dimension or through other sides, keeping us alive and keeping us in check. And we all have different um reasons and purposes and stuff for being here. And uh maybe maybe some people they have these gifts or these talents to tune in to certain things, or maybe they have certain powers or something, and um certain callings or whatever. I mean, I know a lot of people like just like, even if you talk about, like, oh, you're like a Taurus, and you look at something like that, or the day you're born, a lot of people like, they're like, oh, I don't think of that, or I don't, really think it means anything, or I don't care about that. I look at like every little detail. Like, I don't know exact time I was born, but like the day, the year, and just like my name, and just all these things I'd notice about the world and the earth and life and stuff. All these things just um and then I just like, it's like no one else really thinks like that. But I think that's the thing about us is um we have something other people don't, and that's just the eyes to really see. It's just, it takes real eyes to realize, and that's what we do. I mean, we just see things, I think, from a big a big picture point of view. um and we take a look at everything, and we see we just step back and we just see it all, and then everybody else, they're just, they're reading the fine print, they're looking too close, they're looking here, looking there, but they're not really seeing everything the way we see it. And I think that's why a lot of people, they're caught up in religion, they're caught up in Jesus, and they just want to sit and pray about things rather than actually do things. And yeah, I just think that's what's going on. And it's just like I always say, it's amazing how rare we are, but we just have to find a way to hopefully not be so rare at the end of the day.
Yeah, we'll put. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's almost like let's put it religiously a little bit. It's almost like our task is similar to a Jesus figure, and this is guys, chill, chill. I can already hear it. I am not saying if you are into Christianity, that's not what I'm saying. Hear me out. I'm saying those with like a specific calling, like that archetype carries over, whether it ever happened. I'm just saying that archetype carries over to where it's like tasked upon us to have a fellowship or a discipleship type. They by calling to where we want to spread the word and have those people spread the word type of thing. So in a way, it is kind of a, religion outdates me. So they've had that idea has been around since before me. So I'll piggyback on that just a little bit and say it is kind of almost religious, the calling that I think I have, and I think that you think you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, we don't claim to be religious, but that spiritual element and too, I mean, I'm not knocking things like I think magic and like black magic and there's so much that we don't know and we don't understand and we can't see that's also going on. I mean, that'd be another great topic too to bring into a show sometime soon too. Just like
Same for next week.
Yeah, maybe next week. All the things, 51 conspiracy, like Area 51, but yeah, for our nifty 50 episode, yeah, I mean I think that's huge. Just having that just to think about stuff like that, because I think about stuff like that all the time. Like what's really going on that we can't see, but there's obviously something there, and you can take it any way you really want, because it's just like everything. And it's just like how old is the Earth? Who put it here? Who made the mountains? How did it all turn out to be? I mean, I don't have an answer to any of that, but there's all these things that uh, we can speculate all day and just wonder why all these things just strangely add up or correlate, or there's these weird relations, or why these certain things always seem to kind of be a certain way, or because I definitely, there's something to it. And I think this is a lot to it as well, is you have to have the eyes and the mind to really see it. But the things that we can't see and the things that go you know things that are happening that we there's something there, but it's like what really is that? And you could say that maybe it's God or gods or some supernatural beings interacting. I mean, and even it's like when people say they take like drugs like DMT and stuff, how everybody that takes it has the same experience. Well, maybe that drug is really real. Maybe that's allowing you to see stuff that's really going on. Who am I to say anything? Like, who am I? What do I really know? It's like, that's the way I look at it. So I'm very open-minded to stuff like this and why things kind of happen to us and play out in our lives and what it all means and what's really going on that we can't see and stuff. So yeah, I think that'd be definitely a very interesting topic, and I'm sure a lot of people have a lot to say on that as well, and it'd be interesting to possibly have that next week.
Just want to remind you guys, we were able to get here from casually mentioning the Trump death hoax. So our ability to
change on a dime.
Yeah, exactly. we're pretty good on the road courses. We're up there with some of the better. We got Gisbergen just right at our nipping at our heels, but
Must have some 88s on us.
But yeah, guys, just want to also double down on the appreciation for keeping our videos well watched in the comments and everything of the sort. It's been huge to have that. Of course, the goal is still a little larger. It's not to, and it's not like we're sitting here view watching. It obviously helps and it's a big boon to us, but at the same time, we want more and more community and coming together and in the comment section on our platform to hop on here. We can email us. We can get you if you guys have something to present or something to talk about. It's just that simple. It doesn't have to be a 3-hour special with you. You can hop on here, say what you need to say, and open the topic. And this is kind of building towards doing lives as well. I need to double check on that. Not to say that they will happen until me and Austin have a better, an easier time getting together to do the lives. But as far as the capability to do lives, I need to make sure that we have that capability. I don't know if we're up to snuff on all of our channel stuff. I've never really looked into it, but I'll double check that too, just to make sure that when we do want to, that it's something that's available to us. I think it is, but anyway. But yeah, that's something that that's an easy thing that we can do to get the community involved in a more palatable fashion. But yeah, that doesn't mean in the meantime you guys can't join us either in the comment section or on our email, just giving us criticism, ideas, things of that nature, show topics, anything of the sort. So but yeah, this is all to say thank you guys for continuing to rock with us, and hopefully that just pushes us further into the future as well, where some of these plans we're laying now become staples of the future. And that's kind of on code with what my message was today and our messages for this channel. So thank you guys, and until next week, later.
Peace.